The grand charity gala at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel was a spectacle of opulence and elegance. The ballroom, bathed in the golden glow of sparkling chandeliers, provided a stunning backdrop for one of the year's most anticipated social gatherings. Elegantly dressed guests mingled, glasses of champagne in hand, their conversations blending harmoniously with the soft strains of a live orchestra playing in the corner. It was an evening of glamour where the nation's elite came together. Politicians, business moguls, celebrities, and media icons all assembled to support a noble cause. The room buzzed with energy, a mix of cordial greetings, laughter, and whispered discussions. Each corner was alive with animated conversations, deals struck with a firm handshake, and flashes of camera lights capturing candid moments. Despite the grandeur, the air was relaxed, even inviting, as attendees navigated the event with effortless poise. Silent auctions and heartfelt speeches punctuated the evening, ensuring a balance between entertainment and purpose. In this world of glitz and power, the gala was not just a display of wealth and influence, but a space where personalities shone and reputations were solidified. Yet, amidst this dazzling atmosphere, an unexpected moment of profound significance was about to unfold. Amid the glittering crowd of high-profile attendees, two figures stood out for vastly different reasons. Hunter Biden, dressed in a sharp black tuxedo, commanded attention with his animated conversations and magnetic energy. Known for his sharp tongue and unpredictable nature, Hunter's reputation as a wild card preceded. He moved through the crowd with ease, a mischievous smirk often playing on his lips, drawing glances, some amused, some cautious. It wasn't his first gala, and he seemed eager to be at the center of the evening's buzz. On the other side of the room stood Barron Trump, a striking contrast to Hunter's flamboyance. At just 18, Barron's towering stature and perfectly tailored navy suit lent him an imposing presence. Yet it was his calm composure that set him apart. Quiet and understated, Barron avoided the spotlight, engaging politely with those who approached. While whispers about his presence circulated, he remained poised, observing the crowd with a steady demeanor that belied his youth. The juxtaposition between the two men was palpable, one vibrant and commanding attention, the other reserved and enigmatic. The stage was set for a moment that would spotlight both in a way no one could have anticipated. As the evening progressed, the event's program took an unexpected turn. The master of ceremonies stepped to the stage, his voice cheerful and inviting, as he announced a light-hearted tradition of the gala, an impromptu joke-telling segment designed to break the ice and inject a sense of fun into the elegant affair. The announcement drew a ripple of excitement and a hint of trepidation from the crowd. In a room filled with larger-than-life personalities, from politicians to media icons, the segment was known to be unpredictable. It carried the charm of unscripted humor, but also the risk of unintended tension. Guests exchanged curious glances, some eager to see who would step forward, others bracing themselves for potential controversy. The live orchestra paused, and the room's buzz quieted, signaling a shift in focus. The tradition was simple. Volunteers would share jokes or anecdotes, adding a touch of levity to the. Yet the stakes felt higher in this glittering ballroom, where every word was met with judgment from the elite audience. As the first participant approached the stage, the air grew electric, a mix of curiosity and anticipation hanging over the crowd. The moment promised both entertainment and the unexpected. Hunter Biden strode confidently onto the stage, the spotlight following his every step. Dressed impeccably in a black tuxedo and armed with his signature smirk, he exuded charisma as he took the microphone. Scattered cheers and hesitant applause greeted him, a mix of appreciation and caution from an audience well aware of his sharp tongue. He began with light jokes, poking fun at the extravagance of high society and the evening's opulence, eliciting polite laughter from the crowd. But then his tone shifted. His smirk deepened, and his voice carried a playful, yet cutting edge. "Take young Barron Trump over there, for instance," he said, gesturing toward the back of the room. Heads turned as all eyes fell on Barron, standing quietly at a distant table. Tall, handsome, born into one of the most famous families in the world. "But I've always wondered." Hunter paused, drawing out the tension. "What's it like to grow up with a name bigger than your personality?" A hushed silence swept through the ballroom, the air thick with unease. Some guests exchanged uneasy glances, unsure how to react. Barron remained still, his expression calm, as the audience shifted their focus to him, waiting to see how he would respond. The room had fallen into a charged silence after Hunter Biden's pointed remark, all eyes shifting toward Barron. At the back of the room, the youngest member of the Trump family stood still, his tall frame exuding a quiet composure that defied the tension in the air. He seemed unfazed, even as the spotlight metaphorically and literally shone on him. Then, with deliberate calm, Barron began moving toward the stage. His measured stride was confident but unhurried, his posture impeccable, as the crowd instinctively parted to create a path. The atmosphere in the ballroom was electric, every guest holding their breath as the teenager ascended the stage. Hunter, still clutching the microphone, watched with a smirk that betrayed a hint of unease. Barron stepped up to him, his expression unreadable, and extended his hand for the microphone. Perhaps more flustered than he let on, Hunter relinquished it, stepping back as Barron turned to face the audience. For a moment, Barron stood silently, letting the weight of his presence settle over the room. His tall figure was silhouetted against the stage lights, commanding attention without effort. Then, in a voice steady and surprisingly deep for his age, he began to speak. "First of all," he said, a faint, polite smile touching his lips, "thank you, Miss Biden, for your generous words." A ripple of soft laughter moved through the audience, breaking some of the tension. Barron's tone was calm, his delivery deliberate, each word measured for maximum effect. He continued, his gaze sweeping the room with quiet confidence. "It's funny you mention legacies and personalities, because I've always believed that a legacy isn't about the size of your name. It's about what you leave behind when people forget your name. It's how you treat others, how you carry yourself, and whether at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror and say, 'I did something.'" The audience sat rapt, every word landing with precision. Even Hunter's grin faltered, his bravado visibly shaken as Barron continued. "If here is one thing my parents have taught me, it's that your actions speak louder than anything else. So maybe, instead of trying to make people laugh at someone else's expense, we should focus on lifting people." Barron's tone remained polite, but his words carried a quiet power. He turned slightly to address Hunter directly, his calm demeanor unwavering. "This gala," he said, his voice firm but respectful, "is about raising money for causes that matter. It's not about who can tell the best joke or grab the most. So let's refocus on what's important, shall we?" For a moment, the room was silent, the weight of Barron's words hanging in the air. Then, a ripple of applause began, hesitant at first but quickly gaining momentum. The guests, many of them seasoned public figures and media icons, were visibly moved by the poise and wisdom of the young man standing before. Hunter, still standing nearby, shifted uncomfortably, his earlier confidence visibly diminished. His attempt to recover with a half-hearted joke fell flat, met with polite but minimal laughter. It was clear that the focus of the evening had shifted. The energy in the room was no longer centered on the glittering chandeliers, the silent auctions, or even the celebrity appearance. It was now firmly rooted in the quiet strength and profound words of Barron Trump. Barron handed the microphone back to Hunter with a small, respectful nod, then stepped down from the stage. He moved back to his table with the same unhurried confidence he had shown earlier, the crowd instinctively parting for him once again. As he resumed his seat, the applause swelled, filling the room with a palpable sense of admiration. The buzz of conversation that followed was electric. Guests whispered animatedly, dissecting Barron's response and marveling at his composure. The event's organizers, visibly moved, expressed their gratitude to Barron for steering the evening back to its intended purpose. Beyond the walls of the ballroom, the impact of Barron's words began to spread. Journalists who had been scribbling furiously during his speech were already drafting headlines. By the time the gala ended, snippets of his speech had made their way onto social media. Within hours, hashtags like #Barron Trump and #Leadership in Action were Users praised his maturity, with many calling him a role model for the younger generation. Major news outlets picked up the story, replaying clips of Barron's speech and discussing its significance. Commentators noted how rare it was for someone so young to handle public scrutiny with such grace. Even critics of the Trump family found themselves acknowledging the dignity and wisdom Barron had displayed. The ripple effect of Barron's words extended far beyond the gala. Donations to the charitable cause surged unexpectedly the following day, with many donors citing Barron's speech as their inspiration. The event's organizers publicly credited him with revitalizing the evening's purpose and drawing attention to the importance of their work. In the weeks that followed, Barron's response became a talking point in discussions about leadership and character. Schools and youth organizations began using clips from his speech as a teaching tool, emphasizing the importance of respect, composure, and using one's platform for good. Yet, despite the overwhelming attention, Barron remained modest. When approached by a journalist for a follow-up interview, he shrugged off the praise. "I didn't say anything special," he said simply. "I just spoke what I believe." For many, this humility only reinforced the depth of his character. It wasn't just what he said that had left a lasting impression, but the way he said it with dignity, respect, and an unwavering focus on doing what was right. By the end of the evening, it was clear that Barron Trump had not only salvaged the gala, but elevated it to something far more meaningful. Guests left with more than memories of an elegant affair. They carried with them a profound challenge to reflect on their own actions and how they could make a positive impact. As the story continued to resonate across media platforms and within communities, one thing became certain. Barron Trump's response had turned a fleeting moment of tension into an enduring lesson on leadership and the power of character. It was a reminder that true influence isn't about power or privilege, it's about the values we uphold and the legacy we leave behind.